Coffee is one of the most popular drinks in the world as it is baked into so many of our morning routines. Whenever we are feeling drowsy, we can just drink a cup of coffee to instantly get an energy boost, at least for a few hours before completely crashing us out. However, the caffeine inside our favorite drinks doesn't actually give us energy. It tricks our brains into being more awake. So in this video, we will explore how our brains naturally make us feel tired, how caffeine interferes with that process, and what happens when we crash. So how does our brain make us feel sleepy naturally? Our sleepiness comes from a molecule called adenosine, which is produced as our body consumes ATP, a form of energy that we get from eating foods. As our body uses more energy from ATP, more and more adenosine is produced as a byproduct throughout the day. Think of adenosine as a sleepiness meter. At the end of our day, we have a lot of adenosine floating around our body. When the adenosine receptors in our brain detect more and more adenosine, our brain tells our body that we should start sleeping soon. As we sleep, the amount of adenosine or our sleepiness meter drops. And when the adenosine drops low enough, we become awake again, resetting the sleepiness meter for the next day. So now let's drink some coffee and see what happens. Coffee contains the molecule caffeine, which is a type of chemical that speeds up our nervous system and alertness. These molecules actually look quite similar to adenosine, which is exactly why they can be problematic. As caffeine floods into our body, it binds to the adenosine receptors, preventing adenosine to be detected. Since our brain doesn't detect any adenosine, it just assumes that we don't need sleep yet, so we can stay awake. This means that caffeine doesn't give us more energy, it tricks our brain into thinking that we aren't tired yet. And because caffeine is a stimulant, it also makes our brain pump out more adrenaline, which is a molecule that triggers our fight or flight response. As a result, our heartbeat increases, our muscles tense up, and our wash and breaks increase. These effects are quite helpful when we are starting our day, but after a few hours, we feel a sudden crash. As the caffeine molecules block out the adenosine, more and more adenosine is still building up in the background. So, as the caffeine molecules dissipate, the now increased adenosine floods back into our receptors, causing a sudden energy crash. Instead of increasing our sleepiness meter gradually throughout the day, shooting the meter from 0 to 100 instantly. Of course, our body has a way to counter this by making more adenosine receptors. If there are more receptors, then we can detect more adenosine despite the caffeine, ensuring a gradual sleepiness again. However, this means that we would need to drink more caffeine in order to feel awake again, since there are now more receptors for the caffeine to block out to lock in again. This cycle continues as long as we drink more and more coffee, causing a higher caffeine tolerance, and eventually develop into an addiction. Of course, some coffee every day isn't a big deal, but chronic coffee drinking can disrupt our sleep and develop health risks related to high blood pressure. And there we have it. Our body naturally produces adenosine as we use up energy throughout the day, which builds up our sleepiness meter to help us fall asleep at night. However, caffeine is shaped exactly like adenosine, which blocks out the actual adenosine in our body, tricking our brain into thinking that we aren't tired. This is useful in moderation, but excessive drinking of caffeine can make it less effective and harder for us to fall asleep. Here in Canada, more people drink coffee regularly than water. I personally don't like the taste of coffee, but my consumption of bubble tea probably fits into that statistic also. I hope that you all have learned something interesting today. Thank you for your time and stay hydrated.